Here's something you probably didn't know about firearms. Let me ask you this. What if I told you there is a gun so powerful, so unique, it can literally melt metal in seconds? I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Maybe like a weapon dreamed up to be wielded by superheroes. Iron Man, perhaps? Well, hold on to your seats because the truth is, this weapon exists, and it's very real. Let me introduce you to the thermite-based rifle, a scientific innovation that explores the limits of what firearms can do. Now, before you imagine a molten mess like a sci-fi laser gun, allow me to explain exactly how this works. Thermite, for those unfamiliar, is a chemical mixture capable of burning at temperatures exceeding 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to cut through steel like a knife through butter. It's commonly used for industrial applications where extreme precision cutting is necessary. But when applied to the field of firearms, it creates one of the most extraordinary weapons humanity has ever developed. Thermite ammunition transforms traditional ballistics into something far beyond what we know today. Picture a bullet, but instead of conventional lead or steel composition, it's filled with thermite powder. Upon the impact of striking a target, it ignites. What does that mean? Well, imagine firing at a steel plate. The impact creates a reaction so violent that molten iron spews from the hit site, carving through whatever stands in its path. Let's rewind for a moment to understand the science behind this reaction. Thermite is made of a finely ground mixture of metal powder, usually aluminum, and a metal oxide, like iron oxide. When ignited, it initiates an exothermic reduction oxidation, or redox reaction. That's just fancy talk for it produces incredibly high temperatures along with molten slag. The heat released is so intense that the reaction can sustain itself without the need for external oxygen. It burns hot, relentlessly, and indiscriminately, consuming anything it touches. So you might ask, how does this apply to firearms? Well, engineers have tinkered with designs over decades, pushing boundaries to weaponize this chemical mixture into small arms and specialized projectiles. There's a lot of debate surrounding the practicality of this weapon, not to mention the ethics and safety of even possessing one. After all, conventional firearms are lethal, yes, but thermite weapons open a Pandora's box of destructive potential. Now let's dig deeper into its applications. You see, the thermite gun isn't a weapon you'd wield in an ordinary combat scenario. Instead, its power lies in specific uses, such as cutting through critical infrastructure or sabotaging enemy equipment. Imagine being able to instantly incapacitate a tank, render enemy artillery unusable, or destroy heavily armored vehicles by targeting their weakest points with pinpoint precision. Thermite-based devices were even tested in World War II by Allied forces, but their application was largely experimental and less refined than what we're discussing here. Why haven't you heard of it on a larger scale? Part of the reason lies in the weapon's impracticality for direct combat. For one, thermite itself is highly volatile. Just carrying ammunition loaded with such a mixture becomes a logistical nightmare. Leaks, accidental ignitions, or improper handling could create catastrophic accidents. And let's not forget that while thermite incinerates almost anything it touches, its range and compatibility with modern firearms are limited due to the material demands required to shoot such ammunition. That said, specialized engineering solutions continue to emerge. Some experimental thermite-firing firearms use highly specialized containment chambers and ignition systems to safely handle and project thermite rounds. Think of it as designing a firearm around the ammunition itself, not the other way around. Essentially, engineers must ensure the weapon doesn't destroy itself in the process of firing. Imagine a pyrotechnic reaction happening inches from your face. It's no small feat, but the fact that it has even been achieved is a testament to the creativity of human innovation. What about civilian use? Could you, the average firearm enthusiast, ever own something like this? It's highly unlikely, not only because it's impractical and potentially dangerous, but also because of the legal and ethical framework surrounding weapons of this kind. Thermite firearms as a concept exist more as niche tools for demolitions experts, emergency responders needing to create gaps in metal barriers, or military engineers designing tools for absolute last resort scenarios. It's a firearm that exists in the margins of what we define as conventional weaponry. Still, the existence of this weapon is proof that science and creativity know no bounds. What seems implausible in the world of firearms, one decade becomes achievable in the next. Thermite, a substance once relegated to industrial processes, found its way into the arms industry, proving once again that science fiction-seeming technology tends to become science fact sooner than you'd expect. History has shown us time and again that firearms represent more than just destructive tools. They are a technological language of their own. They often reflect the fears, ambitions, and conflicts of the societies that create them. Thermite-based firearms are no different. They tell a story of humanity's constant pursuit of pushing boundaries, solving unique engineering problems, and adapting to changing military landscapes. As of now, they remain one of the lesser-known but undoubtedly remarkable innovations in the world of weaponry. So, the next time you hear about futuristic weapons or firearms, remember this fascinating, almost mythical tool: the gun that can melt metal in mere seconds. A weapon that embodies raw power, human ingenuity, and a touch of danger. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe thermite firearms will get their moment in the spotlight, or maybe they'll remain an interesting footnote in the annals of weapons technology. Either way, one thing is crystal clear. Firearms will always continue to evolve in ways that surprise even the most seasoned experts. Now, that's something to think about, isn't it? Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the amazing world of firearms.